I'll be leaving soon. I'll be headed north, though I don't know where, I don't know what for. I'll be leaving soon. I'll be moving fast.
Now, as you can see, it's another sunny day in Tennessee. And it's about time I had a talking to you about something. Let's go for a ride. The response from the first one ball, one pocket video I made was pretty strong. In fact, it was stronger than I expected. And I'm always going to do what you guys ask for. Sometimes it might take me a little while, but I will get it, and it's always on my mind until I get it done. If you didn't see the first video, you have to go and watch it. The link is in the description and at the top right of your screen right now. I'll also try to remember to link you at the end of this video. If you're inherently a good shot maker or you're a seasoned bank player, you're going to love this game. Banks are absolutely essential, from 4 railers to 3 to 2 to 1 railers. And sometimes even more. Ronnie Rose brought up an interesting topic in the comments of the last video and stated that he sees one pocket players as guys that couldn't cut it in the 9-ball world and think they're smarter than everyone else, so one pocket is their only chance of winning. And there's some level of truth to that, but if you look at the top pros in the world, many of them are top shelf one pocket players. But I understand what Ronnie is saying, and on the amateur ranks there is a lot of truth to what he's saying. But if you guys feel the same way as Ronnie and you don't like people that think they're smarter than everyone else, now's your opportunity to gain your revenge and make yourself money if you're after money. This is a gambler's game, but nonetheless, typical one-pocket shots that come up every day for these guys are also a big part of this game here. It's one pocket with the difference of playing a 7-7 on the hill game with 1 ball to go. The break is a little bit different, but all the other rules are basically the same. But still, the bottom line is the shot maker, the great shot maker, is going to win this game every time. If you like the darker side of pool and what goes on in the back rooms and high stakes gambling, this is your game, brother. But you really need to get off to a good start and practice these shots I'm showing you in both of these videos. And speaking of the dark side, there's a YouTube channel owned by a guy named Collins, and it's called Post Up. And I really relate to this guy. He's become my favorite commentator because he just has a way of connecting with his viewers, and he's got this natural born teacher instinct inside of him, and he's not afraid to show it. So cheers to you, Collins, and if you guys get a chance, go look up the channel Post Up on YouTube. He also does a whole lot of work for Feder Gorst and Feder's channel, so if you know anything about Feder, he's not going to steer you to the wrong guy. I'll try to link you to Post Up, or I'll try to remember it. I got a lot of things on my plate right now. I'll put it in the description, or maybe even at the end of this video. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. And throughout this video, and to avoid any confusion, and just like the last video, we're going to take the bottom right hand corner. This is our pocket, and the bottom left hand corner is our opponent's pocket. Now, the standard rules of one pocket are after every game they switch pockets. This is a version of one pocket, but it's not regulated by any organization, so players can play any rules that both of them agree to. And I heard that they're breaking off a frozen cue ball on the middle of the top rail. I've heard that they're breaking from the box. They're breaking from anywhere that they both agree to break from. That's the gist of it. So, I mean, every day there's new versions that are being played in gambling matches that both players are agreeing to the same set of rules. If a player comes up to you and says, okay, let's play by these rules, and you don't like them, then don't play. If you do like them, go ahead and give them a twirl. Takeout shots or breakout shots, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't really matter, but you have to know how to get the object ball out of your opponent's pocket. And not only that, you have to know where to get the cue ball and that object ball that you're whacking out of there in a place where your opponent does not have a shot. And the only way you're really going to learn that is to set the ball up in his pocket and work on it over and over again. And here's an example of me doing just that. And a lot of times players just swing at this by just hitting on the long side of the ball, which is usually what you want to do, but they're just whacking at it with no idea of where the cue ball is going and where the object ball is going. And your job is to figure out where both of them are going, not just whacking it out of there. The whole, because a very often scenario is putting that ball right back in his pocket for him to win easily, or just a foot away from the pocket with the cue ball right behind it. Work on it, set it up and work on it. Now, what to do if the object ball is way too far back on the shelf of your opponent's pocket, and just, hitting it at any speed is going to put that ball in his pocket. There's a really strange rule in the one pocket world, in my opinion. It's strange, to where you can make your opponent's ball, but if you scratch at the same time, it doesn't count for your opponent, but it counts against you. So now you're at -1 in this game, and your opponent is still at 0. That object ball comes out, plus you have to add another ball on the spot and right in back of the spot. And now you have to make both balls before your opponent makes one ball to win the game. So it's basically a follow shot, but a lot of guys hit it too hard and they screw it all up. Here's me working on it. And there's a version of this shot where players are hitting a jump shot and actually just knocking the cue ball off the table while making the object ball. And legitimate one-pocket tournaments will not allow this. And in fact, Jonathan Hennessy attempted this at Derby City, and they caught it on him, and it created a big controversy. But the pool rooms usually will allow it. And the reason that the organizations holding the tournament won't allow it is because they're liable if anybody gets hurt, or, somebody's glasses or cell phone gets broken. One rail banks from everywhere, from every position. They're almost unavoidable, but when you're playing a weaker player, straight-in ones are going to come up more often, and a stronger player is never going to give you a straight-in one rail. But they will occasionally leave you a cut bank, and that's why I say practice them from every position, get used to them, get comfortable with them, and you'll have the luxury of vastly, greatly improving your banks game also. Yeah, work on these. Work on them as much as you can, and when you don't know what else to work on these. Your concern here is the kiss off the bottom rail, and to avoid that, I put left-hand English on this to go under the 3 ball and get the heck out of there. That's how you want to shoot it. You don't want to shoot it that hard because if you miss it, you could leave it right in front of his pocket and he's going to beat you. So if you miss it, you just kind of want it to trickle over. That's good. These cut banks are really tricky, and you still have to avoid the double kiss off the bottom rails, so just be careful of that and experiment with English to get the cue ball out of the way. Two rail banks. This frozen object ball on the top rail is easier than it looks. Just hit it a little bit fuller than your instinct first tells you to, and you should start nailing it pretty consistently. This two-railer is going to take a little bit more work and is a little bit more tricky. It looks easy, but it's tough to get it consistently. Better Gorse makes it look easy, but I struggled with it for a while. Here's some three-railers, and if I was a violent man, I would just smack this three-railer. Or at least take my steel-toed boots and kick it in the shin. Maybe pull its hair. Yeah, this thing pretty much drove me nuts. I made the object ball in the side pocket about 150 times before I finally got it through my head that I have to go a little bit longer than I need to. Of course, that resulted in a shot like that a lot. You see that ball hop off the table? Yeah, I finally learned to shoot it hard, and this old Brunswick will hop the ball off the table if you shoot it too hard. Alright, now we're on the typical four-railer, and it's a legitimate question for you to ask, why are you shooting this four rails when you can just cut this ball? And number one, the cue ball is not usually in this position. That might be feasible if the cue ball was in this position. It's a valid option, but if you start nailing this four-railer on a consistent basis, which is just one more rail than the typical three-railer and two more rails than the typical two-railer, and your chances of making it are greater than if you cut it. And not only that, but your chances of getting safe are much better if you miss. So if you ever see a player doing this, this is why they're doing it. The problem is it's going to take a little bit of practice, and you're going to have to adjust to your table. And again, on this old, and I love this table, but it's old and it's tired and it's a little bit slow. And if you shoot the ball too hard, it hops up off the table, and sometimes it bounces off the back of the pocket and comes back on the table. It's crazy, but it's like an imperfect woman that is really good to you. You just gotta love it. Practice is shot, guys. I promise you, whether you're gonna get into this game or not, you'll be glad if you put in the time to work on it.
I'll be on my own.
There you go, Johnny.
Suppose that's nothing new.
You know all that money in the one pocket world? You know these guys are living off $100 million pension, and they're all playing one pocket on rainy days in the golf course clubhouse. And it's time for you hotshot 9-ball daredevils to go get some of it. And tell them Johnny from Philly sent you. They can't hide from us anymore. Give us some of that money. We built you people. Yeah, they got us playing $5 8-ball in dive bars and eating out of vending machines, drinking cheap-ass draft beer. That's gotta stop, man. Go get your money, boys. You can't hide from us anymore. We're gonna come back and beat you at your own damn game. And you're gonna like it.